What's going on, guys? It's Cal here from Buffalo SportsCenter, and we will be making our Week 6 NFL picks today. Again, only 14 games to pick today because of bye week, so this is the second week where we have bye weeks in the NFL. So let's jump right into it. Thursday Night Football this week should be a fun one. We have the San Francisco 49ers in Seattle to take on the Seahawks. And the Seahawks, they finally lost another game. They lost to the Giants. Again, like I've said all season, I don't think the Seahawks are as good as their record shows. But, losing to the Giants isn't going to give them any credit. But the 49ers also look really bad so far this season. So call me crazy. I think the Seahawks bounce back and get a big win against the 49ers in Seattle. Again, the 49ers are pretty banged up. And, even if they got guys playing like George Kittle and all them, they're still pretty banged up. So give me the Seahawks here to shock the world. Then we go to London, our second London game of the season. The Jaguars will take on the Bears. The Chicago Bears, well, let's just say their season has been pretty rocky, up and down. Caleb Williams has shown, kind of short sprints of greatness, but he doesn't look like the rookie quarterback of the year. That would be Jaden Daniels so far. But the Jags just look terrible. So give me the Bears to win in London. The next game, we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers against the New Orleans Saints. The Saints just lost to the Chiefs on Monday Night Football. The Buccaneers have had a very rocky season. As a Baker Mayfield fantasy owner, I know, every other week he's putting up 35 or 10. And, but the Saints just, they held in it there with the Chiefs for a little bit, but man, they just couldn't get it done. So give me Tampa Bay on the road here. I think the Saints, kind of had that little fairy tale to the start of their season, but I don't think it's going to last. Now they're back under 500. So, give me the Bucs in that one. Moving on, speaking of Jaden Daniels, here he is. He's going in to Baltimore to take on the Ravens. What a strange team the Ravens are, right? They lose to the Raiders. They kill the Bills. They beat the Bengals in a shootout last week. Now they got to face the Commanders. Give me the Ravens to win this game, though. I think their defense is, gonna be a little offended last week that they gave up so many points to the Bengals. I think they get it tightened up, and I just think Derrick Henry's gonna kind of wreck through the Commanders' defense there. So give me the Ravens to win. I think it's very close. I wish Jaden Daniels the best. He's having a great year, but give me the Ravens to win that one. Moving on, we have the Cardinals taking on the Packers in Lambeau. I'll take the Packers in this one close. Again, the Cardinals, they've been good for portions of the season, but they just can't put that complete game together. And the Packers, we really don't know what's going on with the Packers, right? I mean, they've had some good games, had some bad games, but I think they get it done. I think they, kind of bounce back here. The next game, we have the Colts taking on the Titans. Give me the Colts here. Joe Flacco looks great. I don't know if Richardson's coming back this week or not. Again, I'm filming this very early in the week, but the Titans are just not a good team this year. Again, Will Levis, again, we're wondering what will our Will Levis picture be this week? Him throwing the ball backwards or fumbling or, what crazy play is he going to do? Give me the Colts here. The Colts are a solid team. I don't think they're going to make too much noise in the playoffs from what I've seen. I think they're just kind of an average team, but they're good enough to beat the Titans. Next game, we have the Houston Texans going into New England to play the Patriots. The Patriots have been awful at home for the last two seasons, and I think it continues here. The Texans look solid against the Bills, faded towards the end of that game, but give me the Texans here to win big in New England. Moving on, we have the Browns taking on the Eagles. Again, the Browns are just a terrible team, and it really stinks for them because they are in a tough spot. They signed Deshaun Watson to that monster deal a couple years ago, and man, it hasn't paid off for them at all. He does not look like an elite quarterback. The Philadelphia Eagles, on the other hand, they have a little bit of potential this year. They don't look like the elite team that they were a couple seasons ago when they were in the Super Bowl. But give me the Eagles to beat the Browns. I think this one's pretty easy for the Eagles. But again, the Eagles have had some stinkers too, so keep an eye on that one. Next one here, we have the LA Chargers in Denver to take on the Broncos. Give me the Broncos in this one. The Broncos are making some noise. Crushed the Raiders last week. Again, this is the first game of our 4 o'clock slate here, and Bo Nix is starting to feel it. And, momentum is a big thing in football, and I don't think the Chargers are going to put an end to it. Again, the Chargers are a team who, they've squeaked by so far. Their record looks solid, but, they're, losing to the Chiefs a couple weeks ago in just bonehead fashion. Terrible coaching from Harbaugh there, and they've also lost the Steelers. So yeah, give me the Broncos in that one. Moving on, we have, speaking of the Steelers and speaking of the Raiders, that is the next game. We have the Pittsburgh Steelers in Las Vegas to take on the Raiders. This is a tough one. I mean, the Steelers, man, the Steelers just didn't look good against the Cowboys at all on Sunday Night Football. But the Raiders, like I said, just got blown out by the Broncos. It is in Las Vegas, but give me the Steelers. I think the Steelers' defense is good enough to win this game. Again, the Raiders are going back and forth from Minshew to Aiden O'Connell, back and forth. And, when you're flipping quarterbacks like that, there's something fundamentally wrong with your football team. So give me the Steelers to win that one pretty easily. Again, the Steelers' offense isn't anything special, but I think their defense is the big reason why they win this game. Next game, we have the Atlanta Falcons going into Carolina to take on the Panthers. Give me the Falcons in this one to beat the Panthers. The Panthers are just a terrible football team. Again, they did get that one win against the Raiders, which, again, like I just said, the Raiders are in disarray. Some weeks they're one of the best teams in football, and some weeks they're just terrible, and there's no in between. But give me the Falcons in that one to win pretty easily. Next game, we have, honestly, a pretty good one. Detroit going into Dallas to take on the Cowboys. The Cowboys coming off a big win, but I think that momentum stops here. I think Detroit wins on the road. Both of these teams are very shaky. I could see both of these teams making a deep playoff run, and I could also see both of these teams getting, exited in the first round. So give me the Lions here. I think, this is a crucial game for both teams. Who could get that big win to go on that big momentum tear? I think the Lions get the win on the road, which would be huge for them. Now we go to our great Sunday Night Football game. Cincinnati Bengals in New Jersey to take on the New York Giants. Is anyone going to watch this game? I mean, I don't know. Both teams coming off, big games. The Bengals, it was a loss for them, but they led most of the game against the Ravens. The Giants, on the other hand, coming off a thrilling victory over the Seahawks, where, they had that blocked field goal at the end that won them the game. Could have been a penalty, wasn't called a penalty. I'm not a fan of either team, so I don't really care. But, exciting ending to that game. Give me the Bengals, though, to win this one. That Bengals offense looks like it was clicking on fully last week. So I gotta take the Bengals here. I think it's another one of those games where it starts off slow, but then the Bengals really take control of the game in the second half. And we finish out this week with Monday Night Football. The Buffalo Bills coming off a big loss against the Texans, facing the Jets, who just lost to the Vikings in London. Again, I would usually say the London team is going to get blown out because they're coming back. They don't get as much practice. They're probably tired, jet lagged. But this is a Monday night game, so the Jets have an extra day to get things going. I think it's a very close game, but the Bills need this game. Again, if the Jets win this game, they are now in the lead of the AFC East. If the Bills win, they would take a 2-game lead. So give me the Bills. I think the Bills need this game. Again, they looked a little better in the second half of that game last week, and their defense certainly looked better in the second half. The offense, not so much, but again, I think the Bills' defense will be able to shut down the Jets' offense for the most part, and it might be a low-scoring, close game, but give me the Bills. I think they need it more, and, technically, I guess the Jets need it more, but the Bills need it more for their sanity, right? The Bills are thoroughly embarrassed after how last week ended. So that's my predictions. Let me know in the comment section below if you disagree, agree. What game do you think is going to be fun? What games do you plan on watching? And that is it for this week. I can't believe it's already week 6, and I will see you guys in week 7. Peace out.